Emily Kitchen Sandler, the Buttery Babe, coming to you from my kitchen. Today we're making another family favorite, perfect for any time of year, particularly the holidays. It is our famous cucumber salad. We are going to make a half batch today. So we have 5 pounds of cucumbers, which I'm going to show you how to slice in a minute, 1 thinly sliced red onion, a green bell pepper, which we'll also slice up in a minute, a cup of sugar, a cup of vinegar, some salt, and then the seasonings are whole mustard seeds and celery seeds. If you are unfamiliar with celery seeds, yes, they are the actual seeds of a celery. But more importantly, it's a topping for Chicago hot dog, so you should all know it. This is how I'm going to slice the cucumbers today. This is a mandolin. This is a restaurant one, so it's a little bit scary and terrifying. You make home versions, they're a little flatter, a little easier to use. Don't be like either of my parents and cut off large chunks of your hand. We're using the last of the cucumbers from my garden. So you always want to peel the cucumber for the cucumber salad. If you don't have a mandolin, or you have a healthy fear of a mandolin, you can slice the cucumbers up with a knife, like a normal person, or you can use the slicing disc on your food processor. I'm going to show you how to safely use the mandolin. Cucumber, mandolin. Notice my hands are far away. Can you see that, camera girl? You're just going to go back and forth.
I'm horrified.
You're not going to use a lot of pressure. The blade is sharp. You don't need to help it. It's got its job done well. You'll see this pile? That is when we get to the end of the cucumber. Instead of forcing it through and losing a finger, we put it over there in the pile and then have a healthy snack. Again, use the mandolin. Do not look away from the mandolin. Do not be afraid of the mandolin. It can sense your fears. When you get to the bottom, stop. Put it in the pile and snack. So, I'm going to super quick do the last few of these. See how it jumped? Don't try to catch it. Let it do its thing. Again, these cucumbers are small because they're like the last from my garden. You can use regular sized cucumbers. You don't have to splurge and get the English cucumbers because we're just going to peel them up anyway. So, one more, and then we're ready. And again, you can use a knife or your food processor. Stop it, because we're not going to lose a finger for cucumber salad. Okay, so that's our snack pile for later. Moving the mandolin over here. We're done with it. I'm going to just put the rest of the sliced cucumbers in the bowl. I have it set over. I have the cucumbers in a colander set over a bowl for a reason. We're going to take about 2 tablespoons of salt. And just massage it real quickly through. That's going to help pull out any extra moisture. Because even though we're going to make a dressing and these are going to be swimming in moisture, we don't want it to be watery. We want it to be flavorful. So just let that do its thing. It can sit. It's going to sit over here for about 20 minutes, maybe not even that long. In the meantime, we're going to cut up our bell pepper. Make sure there's no stickers on it. If you don't know how to cut up a bell pepper, which a lot of people don't, and you don't want seeds all over your counter, cut off one side, and then twirl. See? One piece, and the seeds are not in dinner. So we're just going to cut that up thinly. You always want the skin at the bottom, closer to the cutting board, so that the pressure of your cutting goes right through the skin, and it makes it easier for you. And this is, I have little hands, so I'm just going to make it easier for me. piece. Doesn't mean I want to use it all in one piece. So remember, it's an easy ratio. For every 5 pounds of cucumber, it's 1 red onion, 1 green bell pepper, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of vinegar, just regular white vinegar like you use for cleaning. I'm going to cook with this later. I'm going to put it in the snack pile. And then the spices. So we're going to make the dressing. That was a teaspoon of mustard seed and a teaspoon of celery seed, a cup of sugar, and the vinegar. The original was even sweeter. The original recipe would have a cup and a half of sugar for every cup of vinegar, which I thought was just a little bit much. We're just going to whisk to dissolve. And these need to marinate for at least an hour, but they just get tastier and tastier. They can last for weeks in the fridge. So that's mixed. Now we're going to put in our red onion. Oops, lost a piece. Stay there. Switch into a wooden spoon. It's an old school recipe. We'll go old school tools. And now we'll do our bell peppers. Just make sure everything's nice and coated. I hope my bowl is big enough. It very possibly is not. Camera girl's shaking her head. But all my bigger bowls are metal. Won't be able to see as good, but it's okay. So our cucumbers that were salted to pull up the extra moisture. And then the dressed vegetables. Again, if I was a smarter girl or had planned better, make the dressing in the bigger bowl and you don't have to make as many dirty. But that's okay. So we're going to toss everything so it's nice and combined. Isn't it pretty? And then, again, this needs to sit. At least 2 hours, a couple of days is even better. Want to make sure you're putting it into a big enough container to sit, because the cucumbers are going to even, though we salted them, they're still going to give off some more moisture, and it'll get yummier. And I wouldn't leave it in a metal bowl. I would do it in a glass bowl or a big Tupperware. You've got one. I'm Emily Cutchin's Antler, the Buttery Babe. Thanks for visiting my show. Today we made our famous family cucumbers. Please visit me on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course, my website, www.butterybabe.com.